Today I will be introducing you to Jamboard. Jamboard is a free interactive digital whiteboard accessible through your school Google account. There are many ways you can use Jamboard for both synchronous and asynchronous remote instruction, as well as face-to-face instruction. Today I will show you the features of Jamboard and give you some ideas for using it for asynchronous learning. First, to access Jamboard, you will go to your Google homepage, and then you will select the burnt waffle here in the top right side of your screen. And then scroll down until you see Jamboard here. So click on that. You will see a screen that shows you all of your recent jams, is what Google calls your Jamboards, as each one is a jam. In order to create a new jam, select the orange plus sign in the bottom right corner of your screen. The first thing you will want to do is give your jam a name so you can find it more easily. So I will call this Sample Jam and hit OK. Once you've got your jam created, there are lots of different things that you can do with your Jamboard. So first I'm going to show you the background options. You can choose dotted paper, lined paper, graph paper, a gray graph paper. You also have a navy background like this, and then a black background as well, which can be wonderful for students with visual impairments that might need some contrast in their page. I'm going to come back to this white background. So you have some annotation tools here as well. So if you click here, you'll see that you have a pen, a marker, a highlighter, and a paintbrush, and a few different color options as well. So I'm going to use the blue. And you can do math problems. We'll say 4 plus 3 equals. So you could show students how to solve this math problem. And while doing this math problem, if you are in a remote learning structure and you are doing asynchronous learning, you could use your Screencastify extension up here and record while you model how to solve a math problem. You have your eraser tool here to erase little mistakes, but if you decide that you just want to erase everything, you can hit clear frame and it will clear out everything you've already done on that page. You also have sticky notes here, so I clicked there. You've got a few different options of color backgrounds, so I'm going to type hello here and hit save. It will automatically give you the option to create another sticky note, but if you don't need one, you can hit cancel. With this sticky note, if you select it, you can resize it. You can also rotate it. You could even click these 3 dots here and duplicate it if you feel like you need it more than one time. With those 3 dots, you can also edit it if you want to change what it says. Hit save. Or you can delete the sticky note as well. You also have the option, if you want one that looks more like a text box with your sticky note, to do a transparent background. And hit save. And now it just looks more like a text box rather than a sticky note. You also have the option to add images. So when you click add image, you can upload images from your computer. You can Google search images. So when you do this, these are actually all free use images that you don't need to worry about copyright. So you can use any of these images. You would select it and then hit select, and it should insert it into your Jamboard. You also have the option to pull photos from your Google Drive or even from your Google Photos account as well. With these images, you have some of the same options as you did the sticky note to duplicate or delete it. Now, in order to manage your pages, so let's just say that this entire page is filled with some kind of instruction that you're delivering for your students. You don't want to clear it out because you want to save the information, but you also need another blank page. So in order to manage your pages, you'll come up here to this top middle section and you'll see that it says 1 out of 1. So in order to add a page, I can just click this right arrow and it will give me a whole new blank page. But if you want to see the pages that you've currently got and scroll through them a little more easily, if you can see right here, there's a little triangle below the pages. I'm going to click on that. And now I can see all of my pages. And in this view, if I want to add a page between pages 1 and 2, I can click right there and it will give me another blank page here. You can also delete your pages from here using the 3 dots and hit delete. So I'm going to delete both of these just so you can see that. Let's say that I have created a template for my students and I want to duplicate this template for, let's say, 5 different groups. I can use these 3 dots here and click duplicate, and I can click that 5 different times and get multiple pages. So now I've got this page, I've got it 4 times, I'll go with 5. Now that I have this template here for 5 different groups, I can actually take this Jamboard and assign it to students on Google Classroom. So I'm going to open up a new tab and type in classroom.google.com. I'm going to take you to this sample instructional technology, Google Classroom. I'm going to go to classwork, create an assignment, sample Jamboard assignment. So in order to assign this to my students, I'm going to click Add from Google Drive. And in my recent files, you'll see that I have a sample jam. So I'm going to click on that and hit Insert. Now here is where I have the option to have students view the file. But if I have created this for groups to actually edit, I don't want them to view it. I want them to have editing access. But I want them to have this editing access in a really easy way. Instead of making a copy for each student, I want to be able to just go to one Jamboard and be able to see all of my students' work. So I'm actually going to give every student editing access, and then I'm going to click Assign. And this will show up in their Google Classroom as an assignment. Now, you'll notice on this sample jam that there is no revision history. So this means that we're going to have to be very upfront with our expectations about how we use a Google Jamboard, about not putting inappropriate content on here, not deleting other people's things. Now, sometimes that does happen by mistake, but we just want to make sure that our students know that we can't get that work back if they delete it. So one way that you could potentially solve this issue is to go ahead and assign each page to a group. So I might say group 1, Sarah and Tommy, and hit save. And that way they see their group number and they see their name. So then each page would have a different name. Group 2, James and Ashley, and hit save there. And so that way their names are already there and they don't have to, fight over the pages. Now that you've gotten a brief overview of Jamboard and its features, I wanted to give you some ideas for how to use Jamboard in an asynchronous learning environment. So I'm going to go back to my Jamboard and show you the sample jam that I created. So one way that you could use Jamboard in asynchronous instruction would be to have students and even yourself create an All About Me page. This could be especially useful if we begin the year in NTI or even go into NTI early on in the year. This would be a great way for students to get to know each other and for you to get to know them, especially if you cannot be face-to-face to get to know them. So this is just a sample All About Me page that I created, and you can create one to teach your students about you as well. And then on this next page of the Jamboard, I just have some ideas for you for how to use Jamboard in asynchronous instruction. So you could use Jamboard for sketch notes, and students can use this as well to sketch out their ideas as they're learning about new material. You could use it as a digital gallery walk where each group is assigned a different page to create their work on, and then they can view everybody else's work and use the sticky notes to give each other feedback. You or students could label diagrams if it's applicable to your content. You can model annotations for reading or writing and actually use Screencastify to record so that you can post that on Google Classroom or your chosen digital hub. You can also give feedback to student work with sticky notes as well. So if they create work on Jamboard, you could come in and add a sticky note and give them some quick feedback using their Jamboard. So these are just some simple ways to get started using Jamboard. I hope this was helpful for you in learning a little bit more about this application and how you could possibly use it for asynchronous instruction. Thank you for watching.